Tachyon's here.
Again, never apologize.
Is your mic working, Tachyon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Xeno, are you gonna fucking talk? You asked me to invite you, and you just sit there.
Tell him
He
you're
just
not the
wants
boss
to
of
sit
me.
around and hang
Look,
around.
man, I ain't cool with these like people just sitting here like a bump on a log. You fucking say something. I can hear you.
Barely.
Okay, I finally found my mic.
Holy shit, I haven't heard that sexy voice in a long
Did you
time.
find it up your butt? You're crackly and low.
Found it in his penis.
Well, excuse me.
He
That's
found
what
it
you're
in his
doing.
penis. All right. So anyway, getting back to this here. So I'm sorry I've been gone for so long, but with
Hey, how about
Gamergate rising from the grave,
Priorities again.
I had to come back into this. Now, I had already rebranded Lord Nurgle to being a Warhammer channel and whatnot, and so I decided that instead of reshifting Lord Nurgle back, I've got this channel that I use as just like a dump for random video game clips. Like if you go in there, you'll see all these clips of me playing Mortal Kombat 1 and shit. Just quietly playing. And sometimes I was streaming on here too, just to kind of record my gameplay.
I've seen a couple of them. I just don't talk.
Yeah, I will. And the only reason I was doing it is because I just wanted to record my gameplay so I could watch it back and see what mistakes I was making. Because, I oddly enough on MK1, I've gotten pretty good at it, and I was kind of surprised that my main character wound up being was it a Rain instead of Melina, which kind of surprised me. I don't know why, I don't know how, but somehow I wound up playing Rain.
Well, you know what your problem really is. Your big mistake.
What's
Opening
that?
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that's true too. Just playing Mortal Kombat in general was a problem for me. It was stupid of me to do it. So anyway,
you don't need anymore. That's no fun.
So anyway, I decided, what we'll do is we will continue the trend of stream of corruption and all of that shit on this channel. And it might be like every other week we do a stream on here because as every other week, I also do a Rogue Trader RPG session with my RPG group with my buddies from the Warhammer shop that I hang out with. So we'll be doing that over there, but we won't be streaming that. Okay. And I don't have the permission to stream that for those guys because it's supposed to be a private thing. So, there we go. Xeno should be able to talk now.
This crap is garbage.
What, StreamYard?
What, the microphone?
Yes, I hate.
Or your microphone?
Well, hold on. Let me see if this is any better for you.
I mean, it helps if you don't try to eat the mic. Shimblard overlay. Okay.
Yeah, welcome back, by the way.
Okay, yes, thank you. Thank you for letting me be back. And it's been a while. I know I've got a whole whopping 2 people viewing the channel. I know this will grow like it did back in the day, like we used to do.
I would share it, but you don't want my trolls, man.
Well, So anyway, let me try to get this and make some sense out of it, all right? Because there is a lot, and I mean a lot of things that are going on with this whole Sweet Baby Ink thing, okay? So where to begin with this? How many of you in this room even know what's been going on with this Sweet Baby Ink stuff?
I've done a fair amount of research into it, but I'm still there's still some areas I need to explore more.
Okay, so you're still catching up on all of this, right?
Well, yeah. But I didn't see Dev's video. Did he talk about Leigh Alexander in there, you said?
Yeah, he does. They talk about Leigh Alexander in there, but they don't actually, she hasn't actually been in the forefront of any of this, but they talked about her. So Dev's video, that video that I shared to all of you guys, except for probably Ralts, because Ralts, I'm sorry, I haven't talked to you in a while. I've been busy. But anyway, Dev's video, little stream, because he was on that side scroller stream with Craig, and he went over like this, like I said, 4 hours straight on the history of Gamergate, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't think we got to do that here.
Nope.
But it was all about trying to connect, helping to connect the dots and understand this is what Gamergate was, this is what happened, and why it connects so greatly to this Sweet Baby Inc. stuff and what we're learning about it. So, for those of you who are in the unknown about this, okay, Sweet Baby Inc. is this consulting firm. And now a consulting firm that, let's see, how do we do this? Present video file share screen. Anyway, so Sweet Baby Inc. is kind of like this consulting firm, and I will go ahead and, even though I know you've probably all gotten sick and tired of hearing this, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the website and read out loud their mission statement, because that will help give you an idea of what this garbage thing is. Oh wow, whenever I search Sweet Baby Inc., I don't even get their main page now. So, one thing I found, and we'll talk about the website itself in a minute. Now, once I understand how to share stuff on here, I will do so, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing right now.
You mean you can share your tabs? It's if it's in the same page. I mean, it's in this. Yeah, you just.
Let's see.
You should just let me run your channel. I'll take care of it.
Oh, I found the thing to let me see it. Okay, here we go. Bam. Let me see if I can. Okay, it just says remove, but I don't see it on here. Oh my god, this stupid thing. Okay, Ralts is back to added. Studios limited to 6 people. Okay, so I did add Ralts, but it wouldn't let me add him. Okay, hey, there we go. There's Ralts. So I can't share it for some reason. I'll figure this out later. I'm going to play with StreamYards later. But founded in 2018, Sweet Baby Inc. is a narrative development and consultation studio based in Montreal and working around the globe. Our mission is to tell better, empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video games industry. We aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive for everyone.
Except white people. I'm sorry.
Oh, we're going to get there. Trust me. Believe me. This party's just started. So, just to give you an idea, some of the projects these people have worked on is Alan Wake 2, Sable, Battle Shapers, God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man 2. And that isn't all. You know who else they've been involved with? Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Of course they have.
They've worked with companies like Xbox, EA, Valve, WB Games, and yes, at one point, Mortal Kombat 1 was on their list of games too. Rocksteady, Compulsion Games, 2K, UB Garbage, excuse me, Ubisoft, Square Enix, and who remembers this name? Polytron.
Nobody remembers it ever.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of it, so there you go.
If I'm not mistaken, Polytron, wasn't that Phil Fish's fucking company?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they do Fez?
Yes, it was Phil Fez's game. You know
that. Fez. That's what I thought. I could have swore I remembered that fucking name.
I remember JT making a song about him. Forgot what it was, but he had a good song about it.
Yeah, so that is Sweet Baby Inc. They are a consulting firm. So basically, when you want to wokeify your game,
nobody wants
all
to
these assholes to make your game a little more woke. Oh man, it's great, isn't it? So This company's been around for a long period of time, and it's been kind of operating in the shadows, and a lot of people didn't really notice it. A couple weeks ago, I think people were talking about it a little bit, or a few months back. But here's the funky thing about it. So this guy named Cabrutus on Steam.
Of course.
The guy's name is Cabrutus. He decided that people should be aware of the games that these jackasses work on, right? So they created a curator group.
Oh my god.
This curator group is basically all it does is list games that they worked on. That's it.
Of course.
And an interesting individual named Chris Kindred, who works for Sweet Baby, for some reason got a little butthurt and a little upset and decided to, put this group on blast and tried to create a cancel mob against it to false flag it and get the guy banned and get the curator taken down. And like the guy went pretty far. The dude went pretty hard into it, right? And he failed. But what he didn't fail to do was get everybody's fucking attention. Now, this group was only like a couple hundred strong when it started, right? And when this guy jumped in, it has ballooned to a whopping 230,727 members following it now.
How many of those are just fucking fake ass accounts or, they're spare accounts?
I don't know. Well, this is the thing. What this curator is for, it's called Sweet Baby Inc. Detected. All it is to say, these are the games that Sweet Baby Inc. has been working with, and he doesn't recommend any of them because he's just like the rest of us, sick of the
normal
bullshit. Yeah, he's a normal human. He's a normal functioning human with a brain. But here's the best part. They tried to smear him as a sexist. They tried to smear him as a racist. He's from fucking Brazil.
Oh,
and he's not white. So he just like completely broke their brain already. But now here's another interesting thing. And you see my boy Tachyon, and all of you is going to remember this name when I bring it up. There's another wonderful individual that was really, really fucking loud about this little group and really upset about it. All of you will remember this. Anybody remember a interesting name by a person named Lego Butts?
Yeah, Maya Felix Kramer.
Yep. Do you remember Lego Butts, Ralts?
Anyway. How about now? Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, Lego Butts was a sex pest. He was a sex pest.
Yep. Well, it's not just that. What was Lego Butts? Who was Lego Butts banging when Lego Butts was not a he, but a she?
Whoa.
God, I cannot remember.
Let's just say she was doing some scissor me timbers with a wonderful, interesting person we known as Zoe Quinn.
I started to call her Anita Quinn because they're both the fucking same.
Zoe Quinn this person was back all the way back in the days when they tried to shut down the Fine Young Capitalists Game Jam. Remember that?
Yep.
Yeah. Lego Butts was part of that. And Lego Butts is an employee of Sweet Baby Inc. It gets better, though.
It always does.
The CEO of Sweet Baby Inc. Now, y'all may not know this person. Her name is Kim Belair.
Damn, baby.
I know you like that, sweetheart.
I know I say better out than in, but I think I'm wrong.
So Kim Belair is the CEO of this company. And now when all of this blew up, suddenly, well, for one, Chris Kindred got banned off of YouTube, got suspended on Twitter for a while because of his little stupid actions. But also, a lot of these people started locking down their Twitter accounts as usual and all their other socials. Sweet Baby Inc.'s social media account is completely locked down now. It's all protected. And I'm just sitting here in the corner when all this was coming out thinking to myself, if you are proud of the work you do, why are you so bothered by a curator that points out the work you've done? Does that make any sense to any of you?
Yeah.
So it makes sense to you why you'd want to block
They
out.
are proud of it when their friends are there, or when they're after that ESG money.
They're proud because they're not proud anymore. They're hiding because they know the jig is up. That's what it is. They know the jig is up. They know that see, this is the thing. They didn't care until the public figured out what they were doing. And when the public found it, they're like, holy shit. Because people have asked these questions. Why are all the female characters in these games ugly? Why are all the female characters fully clothed in these games? How come I have to go through a pronoun freaking preaching spill
Nurgle,
because of this? What?
Nurgle, how do you know what kind of work exactly Sweet Baby Inc. is doing? I understand that the people involved, a lot of them are like quite bad humans. I actually agree with this assessment.
And I'm glad you asked that.
Why do we know specifically, or what do we know specifically about the exact changes that they are making?
And I'm glad you asked that, because all over on Twitter, now I don't have the receipts with me at the moment, but there are plenty of YouTube videos that have been covering this the last few days. There are people all over from the company and working within the industry with some of those games from the past, such as Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and plenty of others, including Alan Wake 2, where they have talked about the work that Sweet Baby has done with them, including race-swapping characters, inserting preachy little woke bullshit in general. Thank you for that question, because I knew that was coming, and I love you for that, because I like a guy who loves to challenge it. But that's what they've been doing.
Don't forget the CEO went on a TED Talk.
Can you bring it up on screen just so we can go over it? Because I actually haven't. I haven't gone over.
The problem is I can't bring it up on the screen because I'm having problems with this fucking program.
Because I know that Dev interviewed, Short Fatted Taku. He interviewed one of the game developers from Saints Row.
Yes, and Saints Row apparently didn't they mention that Sweet Baby had some work with that or something like that?
I haven't confirmed that they've worked on that. It could have been a different company, though. The developer did believe that that the progressive consulting may have played like some minor role in the game being unsuccessful, but there were also a lot of other problems too.
Ralts, what were you going to say about TikTok?
No, it wasn't about TikTok. It was about the fact the CEO went live and had themselves like a TED Talk or symposium talk where they bragged about everything they do and inserting their own politics into the game and forcing developers to have characters that they decided on whether or not they were originally written in the script.
Yeah, GDC. She was doing I was getting to that. The CEO, Kim Belair, was doing a GDC talk, and you'll probably see this. You've probably seen this thing floating around. God damn it, Xeno. I don't know why Xeno keeps dropping out.
Can you hear me now? Do I sound better?
Yes, I can hear you now. Lisa wants to join, but I can't let her join until after things are done.
What'd you say?
Anyway, well...
What?
Sorry, I gotta send Lisa a message really quick.
I was asking, do I sound better?
You sound a little bit better. You're a little crackly, but you sound better. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. I will join one more time, and you will have to deal with the noise.
I was already prepared.
Only way this is going to work.
It sounds like you don't have a good connection to whatever you're connected to.
I don't. It's my old cell phone. So I'm going to connect to my new one.
Oh, that explains
it doesn't have a port for my headphones, so I have to use a Bluetooth headphone. So I will be right back. One more time.
So anyway, Kim Belair was doing this presentation on why you need to hire us at GDC. And basically it was all about how to get your people to do what you want them to do with this whole inclusion thing or DEI stuff. So what she would said though is there's this 20-second clip going around. Now, personally, I think it's taken a little out of context, but it does kind of sum up what she's trying to say. And one of the things that she says is, hey, go. If the studios are rejecting your ideas, the studios are not trying to give you what you want. Go have a coffee with your HR group. Go have a coffee with your HR group and terrify them to hiring you and to not and what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want. Basically, it's a shakedown company. Like they're trying to get it to where people are going like, it's a great game you got here. Be ashamed if somebody came and fucked it up.
So I've got the direct quote too here.
Thank you.
If you're
I don't have the exact.
If you're a creator working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher ups. And if they don't see value in what you're asking for, when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and terrify them of the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want. Because they have to consider, and then she pauses and says, I say that a lot as a joke. Because if you start to consider the people who are player and audience facing and who have to deal with mitigating harm and keeping the sentiment around their game positive, there is a genuine value you can impress upon them, both ethically and financially. You can say this is important. And then it goes on for some time, but she moves on to a different topic into what your advice is for the indie developers next.
Yeah, and basically, and I understand that apparently the beginning part is a joke, but that's kind of what she's saying is...
That's extortion.
It's kind of like an extortionist type thing to say.
It's not...
But it's not just that. That's not the only thing. And everybody's focused on that comment, which I can understand why. But the ones that bothered me was, throughout her entire presentation, it's about, well... all the, she's... Now, I may be taking some of these out of context, okay? You can correct me, Xeno, or not Xeno, but Netscape, if you want. But, like, the discussion...
I mean, feel free to invite me, too. I'll do it. You know it.
Xeno, you're in.
Wait a minute, Xeno? I'm sending a link in the private chat. I don't mean for you to buy it on Amazon, but this is what I use with my cell phone, and it works really well. It's got the little mic arm and everything.
Okay. Anyway, what I was trying to say, in Netscape, or Tachyon, you can correct me if you like, or jump in and help me with it a little bit. But what throughout most of the presentation, is like a good part of it is her saying how, well, the gaming industry has always been focused on straight white males, and how do we stop focusing on straight white males only? Because our straight white males, if we don't cater to them, they become picky little babies, basically. And a lot of a presentation is basically saying, we don't want you, the gaming industry is no longer for all of you straight white males anymore. And it's like, since when has the industry only been for straight white males? I don't understand this fucking thinking process. She is a fucking idiot, really. I can't fucking stand it. And the entire
she's not an idiot. She knows exactly what she's saying.
Go ahead, Ralts.
And she thinks
they have been ignoring the fact that women have been involved in gaming since the get-go. I mean, we all know they have. I mean, fucking some of the Atari legends were women. But the whole thing of it's no longer a boys' game started with the rampant misandry that came out of Tumblr. So when she says that, she knows it's not true. She doesn't give a shit. She knows that the people she's talking to eat that shit up with a spoon, and they're never going to call her out on her lies because she's a woman. Plain and simple. That's the way it works. That's what they've cultivated, and that's what they've created. They don't care about the truth. They care about money, and that's it.
Oh yeah. He ain't wrong.
No, I'm not even saying that he's wrong. I
mean, to some extent, they don't even care about money. It's purely political. Any advancements they can make societally or in the game industry as it is, any steps they can make to make it more equal, quote unquote, that's the benefit. That's what they're all about. They don't even care if the game makes money.
It's about power, plain and simple.
Well, yeah, we've talked about that, and that's the thing we've talked about in the past with these types of people is it's never been about anything else but the control, the ability to touch to get your hands in the cookie jar and say, "This is my shit now. This ain't yours anymore. Fuck you. I am in control now. I get to do what
40K is mine now, Nurgle.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And you keep seeing it. You see that a lot with the 40K side. But here's the thing that I'm trying to say is now, of course, and this is the best part about it too, is since it's caught so much attention, the gaming journalism world, the gaming media world has gotten involved, and the Gamer's written an article now. Kotaku's written an article. You know, all the usual suspects have all written articles. And what I basically want to discuss tonight is what's going on and what's so different between now and then. Because there's a lot of... Because even though it's all back to about the same thing, and it's all kind of revolving around the same thing, there's a lot of differences now that these idiots don't understand or realize. Now, the thing is all these sites have written all these stupid articles, and the main one floating around is the Kotaku one, because the senior editor of Kotaku who wrote this garbage article, oh my god, this is so good. She's been rolling around, talking out her ass, playing, playing victim again like usual, because oh no, I posted something that didn't go right, and oh, everybody's bothering me, everybody's angry at me, and I'm getting death threats, and blah, 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 and without posting a goddamn thing to prove this shit.
Well, and... Nurgle, wait 1 second. Why don't we pull up the article already? I read it earlier today.
You want you really
I got
want
some
me to
thoughts
get
we can
that
go
damn
over.
thing
I've actually emailed the author as well. So that could be interesting. And I've also read and reached out to the Guardian writer as well. So
okay.
Well, I've had to deal with these people for the last 2.5 years. These consultancy groups and these sensitivity groups, and it's all a big money scam. And it is. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't care that she laughed. I don't care that she says it's a joke. They literally try blackmail. They literally try to blackmail you.
It won't go well for your buck.
Yep, it won't go well for you. You know, we can trash your image.
Well, I want to talk about the Kotaku article, and it's not so much about the content of the article, Netscape, because let's face it, it's bullshit. For one, it doesn't even go into... It takes no time. It goes straight into basically blaming all the gamers, saying all the gamers are sexist, misogynist, and racist, and all that shit again, just like in Gamergate. The whole gamers are dead thing all over again.
Well, hang on. Did they do?
Yeah. She doesn't even mention or explain the fact of what kicked all this event off.
Yes, correct. And I did bring...
yes. So she doesn't even bring that up.
So Nurgle, that's I think these are a number of critiques I sent to her in the email, and maybe we'll set up a conversation to talk about them. But
also,
yeah, she didn't go over the inciting incident. She didn't go over how the sweet babying people. She interviews the CEO, but she doesn't talk to them about why their employees are harassing this Steam group.
Well,
and this is a major part of the story. She also might have gotten the Kiwi Farms part wrong. If you at the very top,
yeah, I do.
She got it completely wrong.
So yeah, there's people discussing it online prior to October 28th on Kiwi Farms. She didn't include that, but she did say in the article, though, she did say to her knowledge, I believe, or something along those lines, that she
used the weasel words.
So she didn't say like it 100% came from there, but that's where she traced it back to originally. But there were people discussing this on 8chanV and on Reddit and Twitter prior, and probably other forums as well.
8chan still exists.
It's a different domain now, but let's not talk about it because.
Well, I thought the owner went to.
Let's stay on topic, Xeno, please.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but let's stay on topic.
You can get in touch with Mark later, Mark Mann or somebody.
Here's the thing, though. Okay, I get what you're saying. What I want to point out is that it also goes into this point where she's like, I went to their Discord group and blah, blah, blah. And she was literally going there fishing for people to dox themselves, fishing for, the comments that she wanted to feature. And if you go to the Side Scrollers channel, I got to get the actual video. One of their recent streams, they have an individual that was from that Discord group that shared a conversation with her, and actually was a very level-headed conversation with her. And she completely omitted and leaving his conversation out of there, and only went with the conversation she had with the people she felt would make them look as bad as possible, which you already kind of expected what they were going to do.
Okay.
But it gets
If
better
you could link
from
me that
there.
discussion too, because I'm talking with
I think
some people later.
Yeah, I can't remember. The guy's name is Cod something. It is in like a recent Side Scrollers. Side Scrollers has been doing a very good job keeping good track of this for me.
You never talk to journalists unless you're telling them which wood chipper you're going to throw them into.
Well, and that's the thing. The person that talked to the journalist, the person that talked to her, didn't give them anything. Gave her nothing she could use against them. Was very careful with how he spoke with her. That's what happened. Now, with the rest of it, though, let me see if I can find this video. Oops, I accidentally played it out loud. Sweet Baby article flops. Yeah, it's the stream they did called Sweet Baby Inc. Fluff article fails.
Okay.
I'll shoot that one
you.
over to you. I'll shoot that one over to you here in just a second, Netscape. But anywho, Tachyon. I'm sorry. I'm so used to calling you Netscape, man. I'm still used to it.
You dead named him.
You called me. When you call somebody something for 10 years,
You dead named him.
I know. I'm such an asshole.
Down with you.
I'm such an asshole.
Oh, I missed that.
So,
Kill yourself.
Hey.
So anyway, though, so one thing though, like somebody pointed that out into the somebody also pointed some things out to her on the Twitter thread and said, literally told the woman, hey, it's kind of odd that you didn't mention, the CEO's blatant racism towards white people, blah, 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 or whatever. And the woman responds with, you can't be racist against white people.
Oh, this was fucking great.
And she got ratioed to fucking hell.
and protected her tweets.
Yep, immediately protected her tweets. Now, her tweets are not protected now because she's fishing for shit. She's trying to play the role of the new Zoe Quinn here, trying to be the victim of all the things and all that nonsense and antagonizing people.
Yeah, well, I should say, both Short Fat Otaku tweeted out that if people did send these messages, he condemns it, and I retweeted that as well. And I've also emailed her too and asked her if she could provide the evidence as well, because the only evidence I've seen so far is one screenshot of a DM from an anonymous person with the name cut off, saying that you deserve to be hung, or that you should be hung.
Well, I can do that with 5 minutes in fucking Photoshop.
Yeah, I've asked her to send me the evidence on that, so I just did that a couple hours ago, so I'll give her a chance to respond.
Well, here's the thing about her too is she's playing this game because she's trying to get the victim bucks so she can keep writing articles about this. She is seeing a payday with this because let's face it, and this is when when we get into what's different between now and then with Gamergate, it'll all make a lot more sense and you'll see how fucked these people really are. But here's the best part though, like she had that where she got ratioed to hell in the community notes, kicked her ass. Now she recently posted this. Just a reminder that you can't win with conspiracy theorists who live in echo chambers. You post a screenshot of a death threat, they want more information. Yet the same people who are claiming I'm faking it are accusing me of trying to dox an entire community and make up your mind. And the community notes punched her in the face again. No one has accused Alyssa. Her name's Alessa. Now, please don't go bother this idiot. She's just an idiot. No one has accused Alessa of trying to dox the entire community. The criticism she's referencing refers to Sweet Baby Inc. employees directing their followers to mass report Sweet Baby Inc. detected a Steam curator. The accusation is that she's lying by omission.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she got kicked out of that Discord group. By the way, the Discord group banned her
Oh,
for obvious
poor
reasons.
baby.
And here's the thing: they always do that whole "y'all are all conspiracy theories," but here's the problem: is it really a conspiracy theory when we keep getting proved right?
Well, you
No.
see, our Nurgle, they have a certain quota of articles they have to write. So as long as you feed them, controversy, they can keep writing. They won't get fired that month.
Oh, I know, but that's where we're getting to that. So the other things about this though is they're finding all of these connections between different groups of these Sweet Baby Inc. people. That's the crazy part about it. They're finding all these connections that connect them all to different things.
Okay, this is great content for stream. I love it, Nurgle.
What's the matter?
I like your Reddit
What?
feed.
Huh?
What?
I don't know what you're laughing at me for. What did I do? What is my shenanigan hanging out or what?
Oh no, your Reddit feed. I was just
Is
commenting
my
on how I
Reddit
like
feed posting? Oh, you can see my Reddit feed?
We've
Holy
all
shit.
seen your Reddit feed.
Oh, you can't see it on here, but you can see it on the corner. But okay, I was like, "What am I doing?" I'm like, "What? I'm trying
Wow.
to find the saved image.
You
that
like
I
his
have.
Reddit feed. You'd like my Pinterest
There's just
feed.
a bunch of random bullshit in my Reddit feed.
You're all
Anyway,
degenerate.
so what I was trying, I know I sent it to a few of you people, but I have a I think I sent it to, actually, I think I sent it to you, Tachyon. I think I sent it to Lisa as well. I have a link that lists all of these people, like all these sites. Asha Kiwi Farms is now involved. Okay. Oh, okay. This is it. Here's a list of the Sweet Baby-esque things, okay? So there's these companies that are kind of tied to it, and some of these companies, we have Weird Ghost, we have Baby Ghosts, we have Silverstring Media, we also have GamerX, and there's also another one called Black Girl Gamers. Now, the thing about this is Infinite Ammo Inc. Here's the thing. A lot of these are all somewhat tied to each other, especially Infinite Ammo, Baby Ghost, and Weird Ghost, because Infinite Ammo is run by Eileen Holoka, Alec Holoka's sister, in which Infinite Ammo was started by Alec Holoka and is utilized to pull marginalized people into the gaming sphere. And basically all of these, once again, just like we saw back in the day, you remember like all the sites were colluding together? All the sites are colluding together again.
Oh, there's a surprise. Second verse name is
They
the
are
first.
all working together in unison to create this sort of rink of extortion to kind of keep themselves making money through other methods.
And what is the best evidence for this specifically?
Endymion made a recent video that really connected it all together. I will have to link you that, but Endymion in this one video explains it. Now I've watched it today. It mainly it was on an Asmongold React video, but it was a video he was watching by Endymion. If anybody is
Well, he went over how Eileen Holoka, because of Alec
yes,
Holoka's death, she inherited the money for that with
yes,
Infinite Ammo, and then she used that to create her firm.
Exactly. The thing is Infinite Ammo and Baby Ghost and Weird Ghost and Sweet Baby Inc. are all tied together because they've all been working with each other to get each other created and to push each other into the mainstream in the world. And what's weird about it is they're all Canadian companies and everything like that. That's what I was trying to get at. Thank you. Netscape, I'm so glad you've been paying the fuck attention because I have been paying attention, but it's too much information for one brain to hold, and I hadn't had time to take notes on this shit.
Yeah, I'm still
I've
catching up
gotten
with
a
the
lot
situation,
older, and I don't have as much time to pay attention to this garbage anymore. I've kind of become Joe Biden with the amount of brain power I have these days, you're gonna have to connect the dots for me.
We are connecting the dots, but I'm going to let Netscape take it here since he seems to know where the dots connect.
So I don't know. I mean, obviously there's people involved who are communicating with one another. These consulting firms, they do, I guess, talk with one another sometimes, at least publicly on Twitter. Is this something that we think is inherently bad?
Not that they talk to each other, but it's the fact that they've all been working with each other to keep each other in business and to keep these firms tied directly into the video gaming industry. And it is these firms that got in there. Remember when we used to talk about how Anita had her consulting firm, like was doing the consulting thing, and she got into the industry? Well, it wasn't just her, it was all the other people. And a lot of people from Gamergate's past that have weaseled their way into the industry, got their hooks in, and are doing this shit. Now, we can go on all day about, playing conspiracy theory of how the dots are connected, da 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 da. We've all been there. We know how this game plays. We know how it's going to end, right?
So the reason, the way I'm looking at it now, I think, again, a lot of people involved are quite terrible. The way they acted when the Sweet Baby Inc. employees attacked the Steam group and attacked the curator. Gosh, I had his name written down. I'm sorry. You said it earlier.
Babies goes, funds weird goes. Which
Okay,
funds weird, baby? Which funds sweet, baby? There
So,
you go.
Nurgle. The problem is, though, I don't think it's necessarily inherently wrong for them to be consulting on games. If game developers want to hire consultants who they think will provide value to their company and value to their product, they have the right to do that, as far as I'm concerned. That could be even part of their artistic vision.
And I'm not arguing against that. However, is this what the customer wants?
Now, that's another question.
And from what we're seeing is, for quite some time now, this is not what the customer wants. I mean, let's be real. The last few years, like these last couple of years, especially this past year, people have gotten so fucking sick and tired of this kind of crap. And it is affecting the quality of the products in the end, that things are failing now. And I'm not going to say that Sweet Baby is the reason why, like, say, Suicide Squad failed. I'm not going to say that's why Forspoken failed. But here's the thing. A lot of the quality issues is due to not focusing on making a good product, but putting resources where the resources don't need to be on the product. And one of those resources being eaten up is this DEI shit. Okay? If your focus is to create a good product, and you're not creating, and you're not focused on creating the good product, and you're focused too much more on how many pronouns the main character uses, I think the product is going to suffer, which we are seeing as the case, especially with storytelling, especially with the narrative.
Do we know that that's the kind of consultation that they're offering? That it's just like, oh, hey,
that's what they say on their site, though.
Well, they say that they offer, yes, they offer this as well as other services too.
And as Ralts had pointed out during her GDC stream or GDC presentation, she literally points out what they do at these companies. She points out about how, I'm sitting here with these people and they were going to make all these characters that are all French, or all these characters and they're all white. Well, I go, well, what about this one? Well, he's French. Well, why can't he be black?
Because he's French.
Yeah. So it's the thing is there's even conversations with Kim Blair and some, like, one of the main people from Suicide Squad where they were talking about, and I think it was on Twitter, where they were discussing how they changed one of the main characters. They race swapped them because she wanted them to. So yes, they do.
But isn't that what they're hired
like
for? That they're
well,
they're hiring them to offer their advice and consultation, and then the company takes that advice.
I don't think you're paying attention here. And
the problem is that you think that it's bad advice.
Exactly, because it's affecting the product. In the end, who loses, or who wins?
Well, what we also have to look at is who is recommending Sweet Baby. I mean, there are pressures that come from investors. And all they need is a few friendly investors and they get it's okay. I will invest this money if you hire Sweet Baby Incorporated, and that's where the real money is
That's
getting
true, too.
investors decide for you. Now, unfortunately, we can't prove it, and unfortunately, a lot of the Sweet Baby Incorporated people went back and deleted fucking everything. They scrubbed their timelines. They deleted their posts where they were bragging about things because they learned from Gamergate. I mean, unfortunately, everybody thought these people just dried up and blew away and vanished, and that's not true. They learned, they got better, and now they know how to do it better. They carefully chose their champions and their public faces, and they got rid of the hot potatoes, or at least hid them. Had them remake themselves. And so, what you have to ask is, why are these people getting hired? I mean, let's face it, a corporation, an intelligent corporation, which pretty much wipes out AAA game companies now, doesn't hire anybody they don't need to, because that's one less ivory back scratcher the CEOs can afford. So who is recommending these people? What we really need to look at is not Sweet Baby. Sweet Baby is a symptom of the disease. Sweet Baby is the pimple on your ass because you've got an infection. Who is recommending these people? Who is pressuring them, and how? Does Sweet Baby have the pull to go to some investor and go, we recommended that they make this person like this, and they said no? And does the angel investor swoop in? Because I find it really interesting that Alec, what's his name, dies, and his sister inherits everything, and immediately turns around and builds this company that does exactly the kind of shit that got her brother killed.
Well,
I find it very interesting.
Obviously, it's a difficult area to speculate on because we don't. Obviously, there's a death involved, but it is very much a weird question. I mean, it's not necessarily mutually exclusive, right? Because it's not like the people,
ahead,
the woke. She could both hold the view. Eileen Holoka could hold the view that like woke consulting is good, and want to do that, and also hold the view simultaneously that her brother got fucked over by a lot of the people who hold the similar ideology, but she blames that those specific individuals, or she blames aspects of the ideology that she doesn't believe in, right?
Well, I don't know.
I'm not mistaken,
I don't want to like speak to her like mens rea and like why she did it.
Yeah.
Well, not to sidetrack, but if I'm not mistaken, when her brother was being accused by Zoe Quinn, she threw him under the bus.
Yeah,
well.
Kind of. Yeah, she didn't want people to look into it.
And but now, and that's not really important to this. So to answer the question, who is referring this? It's, as you said, okay. We know, we're familiar with the company BlackRock. All right, we know all about BlackRock.
But hey, Nurgle, hang on, Nurgle, we gotta be responsible, okay? So she didn't want people to really talk about her brother's death too much, and she kind of forgave Zoe and everybody involved. Now, we could look at that and be like, oh, well, that's kind of really shitty behavior. Or we could also just, maybe she holds like a different philosophy and she's like, look, I'm just going to let the past be the past. We can't bring him back. I'm going to move on. I could understand that too. I don't want to.
The only reason I mentioned what I mentioned by saying that is because I'm remembering when all that happened. If I had recalled, I remembered it seemed like she had thrown her brother under the bus because of her accusations. And then, of course, the death happened. But I'm not trying to go deep into that because, like you said, what's past is past. I'm not going into that right now. I only wanted to mention that because I always did think it was kind of weird. But going forward, I'm trying to say here, you remember the company BlackRock? We all know who BlackRock is. They push this ESG, DEI initiative shit all the fucking time. And that's how a lot of companies get investing, is because they push forward for that ESG score crap. And part of getting that ESG score is hiring a company like Sweet Baby. Okay.
And look at all these colleges, even the woke ones, dropping the DEI, firing the whole department, getting rid of it, saying they can't survive with it.
But we know why the colleges are dropping it right now, though. And it's not because of lost revenue. It's because they know now they can't push this shit anymore due to that Supreme Court case about the Asian student who was denied entrance due to his race. The affirmative action case that everybody said which ended in affirmative action. So, but here's the thing. since that case was won by the Supreme Court, since that case was won by the individual, people are looking at that case going, the blood is in the water. Now it's only a matter of time before other industries get hit by the same type of case, and that's referenced. Which, as you see right now, Disney's facing a lawsuit right now about that same thing. But the point that I'm trying to drive is, why do people keep getting referred to use this stupid ass company? Because, like you said, it's an investor. BlackRock is investing, saying you need to bring your ESG score up. Okay, sir, we'll hire Sweet Baby. Does that help? Get my point? Now, like you said, it is a symptom of the disease. All right. But what I want to focus on moving forward here is I want to focus on the fact that there's been a lot that has changed since the days of Gamergate. Just as Ralts had said, these people learned their lessons. They learned from their wars in the past, and they've gained knowledge, and now they know how to fight better. Well, there's a difference. We know how to fight better now too. We've had plenty of years and experience and time. We know how to connect the dots now whenever the media is playing their little games, because look, it's not doing so well for the media either in this case. See, what they're forgetting is back then during Gamergate, and I'm sure Netscape, you'll agree with me on this, back then during Gamergate, these people ran the asylum. They were in charge.
Mhm.
They were the gatekeepers and the keymasters. They ruled over places like Twitter and other social media sites, right? Twitter was a much different place during our time of Gamergate than it is now, right? Remember, whenever Elon Musk bought Twitter, there was a lot of fallout because one thing happened that all of these people did not understand until it happened. They suddenly realized, holy fucking shit, we are not the fucking majority here. Holy fucking shit, we're not the majority in the real world. We don't even hold the majority. We barely hold an opinion amongst a small group. Tell me I'm wrong or tell me I'm right. Don't all talk at once, people.
Okay, so I want to say quick. Lisa wants to come on.
consent.
Were you still bringing her on, Nurgle, or no?
I would like to bring her on,
What?
but it
Okay,
depends on who
Nurgle.
wants the jet.
Nurgle, I don't really have a lot to contribute for this, so I could just go in the audience with the peasants if you don't.
Yeah, if you want to do that, just tell Lisa
I
to come
don't
on
want
in.
to, but it's Lisa, and whatever.
There
Yeah,
is
I know.
Huh.
there is a big thing that side hasn't quite grasped yet because they live in their own bubbles. The landscape has changed. The normies are onto this stuff. Your average person is onto this grift and onto the fact that this is ruining shit. It's what's ruined television. It's what's ruined movies. It's what's ruined literature. And now they've been wondering why video games are getting shittier and shittier. And now they're like, oh, we've got another set of grifters. And the general population who didn't even notice Gamergate happened are now going, so what's with the replacement shit? What's with making my game shittier? What's with the ugly bitches? I mean, and the old thing of, oh, why don't you just play a porn game? It isn't working anymore because normal people are going, why do I have to stare at this ugly bitch? Okay, I can go down to Walmart and see a cashier that looks better than this chick, and I live in Meth Central. Let's face it, the girl from the female protagonist from the new Fable game looks like she got hit in the face with a shovel and is a methed up trailer park whore. She looks terrible. She looks awful. She's just plain ugly. But yet you fix the way she looks, and the old things of, oh, you just want a porn gamer. Oh, that's not how women really look. Or, oh, you can tell who hasn't seen a woman in real life before. Those insults aren't working because now it's the average person who's going, I know what real women look like. I just don't hang around ugly women.
But Ralts, here's the thing: how do we know that it's the woke consultants, or even
because they
the
bragged
gaming
about it.
consultants, that are specifically causing these specific changes, like making the
At one,
characters ugly, like deliberately making them ugly? How do we know that they're
because
doing things
they
like
bragged
this?
about it.
About deliberately making them ugly?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they've been bragging about it for like 2 or 3 years.
Well, who's
That
they?
it's too. Oh God, there was consultants for there was people who worked on the
These
original
people worked
on the Saints Row game who were talking about how they had made sure that they had avoided the tropes that Saints Row had fallen into, and there wasn't going to be the porn stars and the OnlyFans models on it. You know who's they? There's a ton of them. Go out and look. I mean, they've been doing it
Yeah, and
for fucking
actually,
years.
Ralts, why don't you tell Undead in the chat said, why don't you tell about your consultant issue
Ugh.
when they called you? Because you're a
Fuck.
writer, you get calls from these people.
It was after I made the top 10 on Kindle, like 3 times in a row. I made the top 10. I made the top 10 sellers. Sure, I was only up there for a half day, but I was up there, and I started getting this shit. And the first thing I get out of the blue was somebody who had attached part of my own work. They downloaded the Kindle version, converted it to a Word doc, and then made comments on it. The first thing they were was like, "Hi, I'm a sensitivity reader with some fucking consultancy group, and seeing as you've made the Kindle bestseller list, which I hadn't, I just been in the top 10, you could benefit from our services. Just a quick example of what we can offer. Here's the suggestions we'd like to make." Basically, they wanted to rewrite my fucking book. They wanted they wanted different protagonists. They wanted me to change the sex. They wanted me to change the race. And you could tell these people didn't read shit. They wanted me to change all kinds of stuff for the low price of 5 cents a word. That doesn't sound like that much until you realize my first book was 145,000 words. So they wanted more than I'd ever made off my book. They tell you when they come in, they tell you, change this, change that, change this, change that. And some of them practically want to rewrite your stuff. Other people want to add characters or completely change them. Well, why does Daxon have to be male? Can't it be female? Well, this is the future. Why does he have to be a white man? Well, he's not white. That was the first. Basically, I didn't answer. My answer to them was, eat a dick. Go grift off somebody else, scammer. And they threatened me. We can make life very hard for you. I don't give a fuck. I'm married. What do I give a fuck about you? Get on my lawn, I'll blow you off with a shotgun.
I'm married. I'm already miserable, goddamn.
Yeah. The fuck you gonna do to me? Number one, I'm armed. Number two, I'll shoot you. I have no problem. And they blackmail you. They try blackmail. They try threats. They try. It really fucking pissed me off. And I know they do the same thing to these game companies. Because, we've worked on such games such as this and this and this, helping the story. And I just wrote back, get fucked. That's all. That's the only thing you can reply to these people is get fucked. Because they believe that you should pay them for the privilege of having them rewrite your story to fit what they want. A good example is I know another author who was at a book convention, and this guy was talking about how he had written a book for his son and he'd gotten it published, and the publisher had made these changes and he felt his book was better for it. And he's talking about how the main character who was designed after his son had been changed completely, and the story had been changed. And of course, then it was a failure. It didn't sell worth a damn. But he was proud of the changes in his book because it met representation. They don't give a fuck about the actual product. What they give a damn about is pushing their ideology. And you see this, especially in some circles. You see, I helped work on this, and I convinced the author / storyboarder / narrative designer to go ahead and change the character to avoid the male gaze, to avoid tropes, to avoid this, that, or the other thing. And a lot of these people were going online and bragging about it up until they could no longer get you kicked off of Twitter or get you kicked off of Instagram so easily. Back when they had the poll to get you kicked off when you said, God, that character looks like a bag of assholes rotting in the sun, they were fine with it because they didn't have to delete anything. They could brag about it. Anybody who said anything different found themselves banned. And because that's not how it's working anymore, now they have started deleting everything. And because there's somebody that I was watching because he's a venomous fucking douchebag who harps on everybody about, oh, well, they changed it and made it better. And it's just not for you. That's the other thing they say. Oh, it's not for you. They don't need you you don't need these people as an audience anymore. But they don't tell you what audience you're getting. I was told, well, you'll be able to get a more diverse audience. Well, I have an audience. Thanks anyway. I like my fans. I'm not going to change this shit and chase after new fans. I learned that fucking thing. The dog fucking tries to grab the other bone from the other dog and drops his bone in the river. No thanks. And they pull this shit. I got one like a month ago. 2 months ago when I released book 12. I got another one. We could help you redo your series to be more in tune with the modern reader. Bitch, you wouldn't know a modern reader if they kicked you in the ass. And they had a list of suggestions based off of course, the free sample. And they were like, well, the first thing you need to do is, it's military science fiction, but militaries of the future would have females in it. Well, that tells me you didn't read jack or shit. Because the character you're quoting is a female. And they do this shit because that's how they get their grift. What did they want? Oh, with the low introductory price of 4.5 cents a word. Not a word changed. How many words are in my book? Oh, and an hourly fee on top of it. And a $500 consulting fee.
So,
that's how they work.
Ralts, I would 100% be willing to believe that the vast majority of these groups, these woke consulting firms, do a really shitty job. I would 100% be willing to believe that. But we should have to take into account too that these are also works of art that people are creating. It is a commercial product for the consumer, and it's also a work of art. And some game developers do want to make their games woke.
Oh yeah, I totally agree with you.
They should have the right to do that, and maybe presumably some of these consultants might theoretically do a good job, at least at making good games that woke people like, and then woke people, if they want to buy that product as a niche audience, they can do that. Obviously, there should not be any pressure for any developer to work with these firms at all. Any external pressure from the firms themselves or from ESG or anything like that. I would agree. There should not be that pressure there. I think that's sort of the real issue.
Well, the real issue is people like Tor Books. If you're an author and you were dumb enough to sign up with Tor Books, they will pressure you to use these in-house sensitivity readers.
Yeah, no, the sensitivity reader thing, that's pure evil. Obviously, I've unfortunately read
no
about
different.
This. Even with news articles now, some newspapers were talking about adopting sensitivity readers.
For the articles.
The thing is, though, and what Ralts is mainly saying, though, is that's what companies like Sweet Baby Inc. are. That's what they're doing. That is what they mean.
Well, that's what some of them are doing, but we don't.
No, it's not what some of them are doing. It's what they do. Period. That is their jobs. That's what
they all do a bad job providing woke advice.
Yeah. Well.
No. Well, they don't think they're giving bad advice. They don't think they are. They think they're making it more.
They think they're improving the product when the reality is they're not improving the product. Because like Ralts has said, the normie is in tuned in what's been going on lately. Normies, they are sick of this kind of shit now. And you can say what you want. There is a reason why, most of the recent Disney films have completely bombed. Hey, Lisa, how are you doing? Are you finally going to say something?
I was just waiting on you guys to finish.
Do you have anything to add in this before I continue? Because we do need to keep rolling.
The whole normies are starting to notice thing. It's funny because I sent you a screenshot and a link to this. I've been following, I don't know if any of you guys have been following the Niji-Sanji bullshit lately, but in the subreddit, in regards to one of the VTubers who's been saying a lot of anti-white shit lately, well, for a while, but someone had posted I think it was Kotaku author, editor, I don't fucking care, The whole, hi, you can't be racist against white people. Thanks for tuning in. That thing.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Yeah. Well, the VTuber community is starting to take notice. A community I never in a million years would think would have anything to do with this kind of thing.
I'll be right back.
You know, Asmongold's starting to talk about it. There's a lot of people starting to talk about it. Yes.
Okay. VTubers, I kind of know who they are, but I really don't. Who are they?
I don't want to get too off topic. Nijisanji is a pretty shit company. They recently almost caused the suicide of one of their livers.
Oh, okay.
Allegedly.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, keep going. I'm done.
But a lot of people have been calling him out lately, and one of their livers, which is the name that is used for VTubers, has said a lot of anti-white shit lately. And it seemed like no one noticed until recently when he made a tweet about it. And it's been kind of fascinating for me to see the whole, because in comparison to the original Gamergate, the whole you can't be racist against white people thing was, I think it was just starting up. But seeing it go in the completely opposite direction has been kind of fascinating to watch. I'm not going to lie.
Well, to bring up what you were saying, Tachyon, they do have the right to, but at the same time, the consumer has the right to know and protest the inclusion of these.
I agree. In
firms.
fact, I think that they even have the right to create a Steam curator page where they can make fun of them, or even just reveal to people that this is in the game. And I think that they have the right to bash the fuck out of that all they want. That's free speech.
And if they feel like they have to hide, then what is that saying?
Yeah, I think that's also quite revealing, and that's something that they should have asked. The media, the Games Journal should have asked, but they of course didn't ask. Why are you ashamed of your work? Why do you not want people to see that this is a list of games that you've worked on? It's very, very sus.
That's I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
And that was something I was saying too, is why are you so scared of people seeing what you've worked on and things you've done? And that's because they know that the majority out there don't like this shit. They know that it's going to get them the negative attention. They know that with companies lately, here's something I want to bring up. Have you noticed that, and it's not just the video game industry, it's happening in the entertainment industry in general. Comic book companies are starting to lay off, or the comic book publishers are starting to lay off a ton of people. The video game companies are laying off a ton of people or closing down studios left and right. The movie industry is struggling to stay afloat. They're losing people by the dozens. They're having to fire and cancel tons and tons of projects, right? Because nothing is making profit, nothing is making money. And why? Why is this happening? Because the product that's being developed and produced is not doing a good job. It is not what the audience wants. It's not what people are into. There was a recent reveal of statistics showing whoever's mic is hot mic right now, because I hear your TV in the background, you might want to mute it. You can always unmute when you want to talk.
Something that I find kind of ironic in a way is the people that are calling to kind of harass the guy behind the Steam group.
Mm-hmm.
If you really look at it, it's a couple of white people bullying a Brazilian kid.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But don't break my train of thought right now. The thing is all of these people, all these companies are losing money left and right. They're canceling projects. There was a recent statistic that was put out showing, or a recent poll showing that, or a set of listings that no one's watching current day brand new things on TV and movies. No one's watching new stuff. They're watching the old stuff from 10 to 15 years ago. No one's watching anything new. The new stuff is getting very little ratings, and everything older is getting the bigger ratings.
Did you hear how bad it is?
I haven't heard how bad.
Friends reruns has a higher view count than the top 5 new shows produced after 2022 combined.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So, what do you think is happening? People are rejecting this shit. They're sick of it. They don't want it. They're choosing to spend their money elsewhere. Less and less people are going to movie theaters. Less and less people are inclined to buy a video game with this shit in it now. Why? Because video games are $70 now. At minimum for most games. I mean, Mortal Kombat 1 cost me $100 just to get the deluxe edition of it. That's a lot of fucking money to fork over for one brand new fucking game. And if in everything you're seeing lately is everything's woke, everything's boring, bland. It's just a constant preach session. All this shit is going on, and the reason why a company like Sweet Baby is like, oh fuck, is because the first thing that happens when everybody starts losing money is they go, where do we stop spending the money? And when they look at a company like Sweet Baby that's getting hired to consult, the question they're going to ask the publisher is going to ask the developer is, why the fuck did you hire these people? That if it's not selling, why are we hiring them?
Well, if the products are unsuccessful, then they will presumably stop hiring them.
Exactly.
No, I don't.
Unless
they got some sort of additional outside benefit.
I get that, but that's the point. They're gonna start losing clients because the shit's not doing good anymore. Companies are starting to tighten the belts when it comes to this money factor. They're going to be like, no, we don't need to hire a consulting firm to write our shit. Look at have you seen that graphic? I'm sorry, Ralts. I'll let you talk in just a second.
I'm just saying, I got to drop my painkillers. My painkillers are kicking in really bad.
All right, man.
Have a good night. It was good talking.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, man. I appreciate you hopping in.
Yeah,
I really do.
Sorry, man.
It's been too long.
I'm probably gonna go as well. I'm trying to play new fighting games. So.
And the greatest poet.
Did you get MK1 yet, Xeno? Because if you ever do,
Oh,
let me
screw
know.
that shit. I got a Uni 2.
Oh, was that Under Night Rebirth?
Yeah.
Okay. But
and then Rebirth, I've been playing 40 hours of that shit.
Dude, MK1's not a bad game. I don't know where everybody's coming from with that shit. It's really not bad.
No, it's too. It was too slow. Tekken 8, Street Fighter, it's all too slow.
I can understand it. You always were more into the anime games. But anyway, if you're dropping out, you have a good night, sir. I appreciate you.
Yeah, it's good seeing you guys. See you later.
Miss having you assholes around.
Dickhead.
Have a good one, man.
Okay, our two greatest poets have just left.
It doesn't matter. But my point that I was trying to get at is they're going to lose clients. That's why they're afraid of people knowing about them. That's why they're afraid of being so public. Is because they know they're getting that wrong attention. They know there's nothing they can do about it. And as Ralts has said, the normie is privy to all this shit now. But so things have changed greatly since the Gamergate days. They don't control social media like they used to. Normies are aware of their stupidity. And there's one other thing that's being left out, and that's Gabe. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned this tonight. What's going on with Kotaku? What's going on with all of these really wretched sites? What's going on with them?
So I was a little bit careful talking about this tonight because I literally just a few hours ago reached out to a couple of the authors of these articles, and I want to give them a chance to respond to my emails. But the Guardian article had a lot of problems in regards to how it covered Gamergate aspects of the story, at least. And then the Kotaku article, I thought if your goal was to explore what progressive consulting does, that might not be it wasn't like a terrible article in that sense. They just left out the parts. They left out the part about them harassing the Steam group. That was like the main thing. They
Well, of
really
course they did.
should have included
Because that
that part
goes
of the
against the
story.
narrative.
They should have asked the CEO about that, and they also should be asking them to. Okay, you say at the conference, you said it was a joke, but you said that thing I read out earlier about how you want to encourage the game developers, if they agree with you, to go to their marketing teams and scare the hell out of them about what might happen if they don't hire you. Now that sounds pretty bad. And she did later say that was a joke. I don't know why she said that. Maybe she thought it would be funny to play it off as a mafia boss if we're being super charitable, and she thought it'd be like a funny thing to say to the crowd, because she's playing into this perception of herself as this. Or
well, she's also trying to entertain a crowd at the same time. So I can kind of understand that. But the point is
but
that is what they do.
That's what the games journalists should be asking the questions about, in addition to what it's like. So like we do need more transparency into what it's like, because I think that like one of the things that's going to happen, and strangely the Kotaku article even says this, which I agree with it, the very last paragraph, which is that if there remains this lack of transparency that's happening, then people are going to speculate as to what's really happening with these games consultants. And it's not necessarily all the games consultants are even necessarily woke. But people are going to assume what the games consultants are doing if they're not upfront and they're not talking to people and telling the public what they're doing and being transparent about that. And so people are going to, left to their own devices, assume whatever it is they want, possibly the worst motivations possible, and assume that, well, the reason that these games failed is because of this consulting firm that's worked on these games, and a lot of them have failed, and some of them have been successful too, like Alan Wake 2. So,
well, I mean, everybody keeps bringing up that like Sweet Baby worked on Horizon Forbidden West. That was a very successful game, and coming from even perspective of someone who played the hell out of it, it's a really good game. So
yeah, it's not bad.
All of these games are bad, and I never said that all of them are bad. But my point that I was trying to make here is in this final part is, there's one thing going on with the gaming media sites and media sites in general, and these news sites, is they're all dying. They're not getting views. They're not getting clicks anymore. They're dying.
They died since
all
2016.
of these. Yeah, all these journalist sites, they're laying off journalists left and right. Go look at BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed's is almost dead. Vice just died. They're all on life support. They all are. And that's the thing that I'm trying to point at is they don't have the pool they had anymore. This is the difference between Gamergate of the old days and what this Sweet Baby Inc. thing is currently. It's the same thing all over again with the whole Gamergate thing, where you got the journalists versus the gamers thing again. Because a lot of these sites are kind of attacking the gamer like they used to. But those sites don't have the power anymore. They don't have the pull. They can't rally Twitter mobs anymore to cancel people. It's not working in their favor anymore. They are no longer the gatekeepers. They are no longer the key masters. They can't do it anymore like they used to. They're still running their same bully tactics that they used in the past, but they're not working like they used to. They're outnumbered. They're routed. There's not much more they can do. They can scream and flail, but everybody else is privy to their bullshit.
I think that's one of the main reasons they're still clinging to Gamergate, because that was when they had relevance.
Exactly.
Yeah. They're it's like how do I put this? Like an old high school quarterback, and he's now I'm just saying, trying to look back to the good old days and trying to
I get what you mean.
He couldn't.
Well, here's the thing about it. And Dev said this during his thing with side scrollers. He said this. This is why they keep coming back to Gamergate, because it's the one time they got punched in the face and they never forgot it, because they never truly won. It's the first time they ever got told, go fuck yourselves. It's that one time that they were pushed back upon. Because at the time, everybody was just letting them in and letting them do whatever they want. The gamers still say, fuck you. And even to this day, They're still getting punched in the face. And here's again the thing. They don't have the power they had anymore. They still don't anymore. They've lost most of that power. There's too many and that's the other thing too. The majority of I've been paying attention to how people are acting with Sweet Baby Inc. They're treating things differently than the gaming media was treating it. They're behaving better. They're playing the game better. Because what did we learn from Gamergate? We learned how to play the game better than they did, just like it was back then. That's my point.
Kind of like a video game.
This, in whether or not this is going to be a full-blown Gamergate-esque thing that's going to go on for months and years like it has been already from the old days, I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to watch, and that's why I'm back.
Well, let me ask you this, Nerd. Oh,
it
sorry.
was interesting.
Actually, let me ask each of you, I guess. Leon and Lisa, if you want to answer as well. What sort of series of events would need to take place in order to prevent this from becoming a major culture war, while also ensuring that everyone involved in the situation is more or less happy with the outcome, except for people who are like totalitarian assholes who only want their view and no other views?
If people just vote with their wallet, stop pre-ordering, stop buying these cruddy games that these people are working on and they're putting out, then these companies like Sweet Baby will start to disappear. This BlackRock ESG stuff will start to disappear. Look at Disney. Okay, and I don't want to go down the Disney rabbit hole. That's a crazy rabbit hole. I've been paying close attention to that and this proxy war thing. But what's going on at Disney right now? They're getting a major amount of pushback on Disney because, well, they're not making money. They're losing money left and right. Investors want to know what the fuck is going on with you. And why do you keep doubling down on this shit? Why do you think they're... Let me just say this. If Disney wasn't worried about losing this proxy war, they wouldn't have put that stupid-ass video out showing how to vote for the next investor meeting. Okay? They wouldn't have done that. Because here's the thing. The shit's not making money anymore. The woke shit is over. It's slowly changing because companies are being taught the lesson that people don't want this shit anymore. They're sick of it. They're sick of all of it. And it's all losing money. And the more money it loses, the more it burns to the ground, the faster these companies will start changing these things. The more lawsuits get filed, the faster these companies will start changing. Why? Because it's the almighty dollar. It was never about looking inclusive. It was never about being the good guys. It was about money, and it's always been about money. And in this case, the gaming industry is struggling. It's not just gaming. It's all the fucking entertainment industries. It's all of them. Gaming, tabletop gaming, comic books, literature, fucking movies, music. It's all struggling because of this shit. And here's the other thing. You can say what you want about Sweet Baby Inc. They're not the only consulting firm working with games, but there's plenty of other consulting firms like them working in movies, working in other places, in other parts of the industry, everywhere else. And they're all freaking out. And I guarantee you, all those consulting firms are watching Sweet Baby with a fucking magnifying glass right now because they see trouble is afoot. They know if they don't cover their ass, they know that if they're not careful now, they're going to get fucked too. This shit, the culture war crap, the woke nonsense, it was a phase, just like every other phase. Remember what I said back in the day? 10 years, every decade shit changes.
Mm-hmm.
It's already happening. What's happening with superhero films? They're not making the money anymore. It's not just because they're bad now, but it's also because well, people are getting tired of it. They're ready for something new.
And I mean, like you called it, I think 3 or 4 years ago, you kept saying, guys, the pendulum is going to start swinging to the other way. That's just the way things go. Give it time. And see, you called it.
And that's what you're watching right now, is you are actively seeing the pendulum swing. And now, Tachyon, I know you're doing your best to keep it real here and playing the devil's advocate, and I appreciate that because I had a feeling you were going to do that. Because you're asking the important questions instead of just letting us all go into a tangent and sound like a bunch of crazy people. Because we are crazy people.
Yeah.
And even though I talked some shit about that Kotaku writer, I would gladly have you on this stream with just me and you, bullshitting, shooting shit, talking about the things we like, the things we hate, and all the other fun stuff that we talk about. Because I honestly would love to have her on here. She seems like actually a pretty cool person.
Yeah, and I will say this, that she did
too.
Well, I don't usually talk about my guest's appearance, but
well, god damn it, I'm just gonna say it. She's not a bad looking woman. I'm just saying.
Who are you saying?
But I think she actually she did like an okay job actually exploring what it is that these companies do to some degree and talking about what their process looks like. I think that kind of transparency is important, and that's how she ended the article too. She also should have included other questions that were more difficult about like why their employees are harassing people and why, which is like a pretty important question, you'd think, but and try to explore that and try to also talk about some of the past comments that they made and maybe some of the more. I think it should be a more open discussion, and it's a start, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But we also, I think the best way forward for everybody involved is to come together and talk with one another. See, that's the big problem, actually. That's what happened during Gamergate. Nobody talked to us, basically, the pro Gamergate side. And now we're still here a decade later, and people still don't talk to us, really.
But here's the thing, though. The ball is now in our court compared to theirs like it used to be. It used to be in their court, but now it's really more in our court. And that's the thing about it. They don't have the power anymore like they used to.
Not only that, but I mean, we learned with the first Gamergate, because it's starting to look like this is going to turn into Gamergate too, but
it's already kind of done that.
We crossed that damn threshold days ago.
Fair enough.
I still think it's funny that it happens at the 10-year anniversary.
I know, right? It's almost like every decade another Gamergate happens, and I'm just thinking, oh god, I hope not. But my point is though, is that we're taking what we learned during the first time and we can apply it here. We know what to do, what not to do to get results.
There's also the fact that a lot of the leverage that was there a decade ago really isn't. I mean,
yeah, we were just mentioning that. You're right.
I talked about this with Brother Zan before I did my stream earlier, and there's a few factors that weren't present 10 years ago, and somebody needs to deal with their damn phone. One is the fact that obviously trust in a lot of media sources, the dam of legitimacy has long since been broken. It's at its absolute lowest in this current climate. Two, a lot of those same journalism places are on death's door if they're not dead already. Whether it be Vice, whether it be HuffPo, whether all those places have been a virtual money pit. We just saw the whole thing with Rooster Teeth and going belly up after 21 years. And of course, as I think you were hinting at earlier, Lisa, the pattern has been recognized.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm pretty sure about 10 years ago, I said that these kind of people were going to try again to try and extend it or do something at that level of stupid. This is why everyone calls me Negro Damas.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But as soon as the whole thing blew up, I immediately was like, I'm gonna start seeing hit pieces. Lo and behold, I see hit pieces less than a day after I made that statement. And I think what's really telling is a lot of the people who keep trying to instigate this, they keep putting their stuff unprotected because they keep getting blown out by community notes.
Mm-hmm.
And contrary to popular belief, community notes aren't something that just anybody can submit and have it be seen. It actually has to be voted on.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's one of those things that some people are conveniently leaving out, that community notes have to be voted on by other people within that program. And you need a certain amount of votes in order to be seen by everybody else.
Okay.
And it's not like just anybody can get into the community notes program. It's actually tricky to get into that. And every time they want to do one of those kind of hot takes, you'll see some community note that's shooting down the argument. Or of course, one of the funny things about this whole thing is, don't piss off Brazilians. They are some of the worst shit talkers that there are in Latin America, and they will go after you. Like, they are relentless.
Well, actually, you guys remember during I don't want to say Gamergate 1. I hope it doesn't go in that direction. I don't think I don't think this controversy will become Gamergate 2, but we'll see. We'll see how bad things get. It depends on how other people respond to it, really. But remember during Gamergate, one of the people who actually was sending the death threats to Anita Sarkeesian was someone that the Gamergate people we outed, basically. It was Mateus Prada Sousa, a Brazilian games journalist who was sending her many of the death threats.
Oh, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. They figured out, like everybody found out who it was, so because they were like pissed off that whoever it was, they were sending her all those threats.
Mm-hmm.
I missed completely what Mildred was talking about, but from what I'm understanding is before I had to get on the phone with my mother here, who was calling me, it was basically they don't have the leverage they used to, and we know that.
Pretty much.
It's all changed. The landscape has changed.
The landscape has changed, but their tactics haven't.
Exactly. Look at what they did as soon as they wrote the articles about Sweet Baby. Look what they did. They went straight to what they did before. You know what I mean?
There's one of the things I had said is that a lot of the publications that they could use to make those hit pieces have nowhere near the level of traction they did a decade ago.
Exactly. They're mostly, all those sites are dying.
I mean,
they are struggling to stay alive because the venture capital's dried up on them all. They don't have the funding anymore and everything like that.
And
hell, even regular gamers are making fun of Kotaku now.
And I'd like to take this time to remind you all that Kotaku is in that same network that's been hot potatoed over the years, that included Deadspin, which is currently being sued over that whole Chiefs Kid incident. Did you talk about that in the previous stream?
No, we haven't. Dude, this is the first stream we've had in months.
Yeah.
I've been busy with my own shit,
I know. I get notifications on my phone all the time whenever you post about it on Discord.
I was like, yo, Gamergate is back, so it's time for us to get back.
Fuck you! I never left.
Back together.
I had so many plans on how to start this stream and run this stream tonight, and none of it happened and worked right.
You should know as well as anyone else, the first casualty is always the battle plan.
Exactly.
But
never underestimate weaponized autism.
I always work better when I work off the cuff anyway.
Yeah. But to summarize the Chiefs incident, Deadspin tried to publicly shame this kid for what they claimed was him wearing blackface. In reality, he was wearing black on one side, red on the other, because he's a fucking Chiefs fan.
Yeah, he was wearing
I remember that.
And he had the headdress on and all that. and they tried to smear the kid, and then they didn't even correct it. They even made it worse.
And because of that, the
like,
family is suing.
Yeah, well, the parents.
And
the
if
family
memory
suing
serves,
because
he's
they got
also
a
part
bunch-
Native American anyway.
Well, it's not just that. The family suing because the family started getting harassed and attacked over it. So they're suing over it. And like I said, this is why the landscape is different now. It's so different and it's changed so much. And I'm not trying to get all into the political stuff, but like the case with Nick Sandman, where he filed all those lawsuits with all the media companies, they either lost or they settled with them. Well,
Because
he
the
didn't,
last
but
thing
media
any of
sites
those
lost or settled, and then you have this Kansas City Chiefs thing that happened. There's that case that's going on, and plus again the recent Supreme Court case with the DEI thing with the colleges. A lot of colleges are ditching their DEI stuff because of that shit. And
it's not just colleges. A lot of companies have jumped off of the boat.
Yeah, a lot of companies are ditching it too because they're like, fuck, we're going to get sued. Or fuck, we're going to get in legal trouble now. So the precedence has been set. The pendulum is swinging. Things are different than they were. When these journalists and these people came back with their punches and kicks and they're kicking and they're screaming, it's falling on deaf ears because their power's nowhere near what it used to be. I'm not saying they don't have power. Look at the other thing here. Remember, this all started because the jackass tried to get a hate mob on him to get the curator banned, right? To get them blocked.
Because apparently nobody working in journalism these days has heard of the Streisand effect.
So not only did it blow up, I guess there was mass reporting happening on the discussions side of the group. And what happened? Valve sided with the group.
Yeah, just today they closed the support ticket on the whole matter was closed.
Yeah, they were like, "Yep, it's good. You guys are good, man."
And that group, which was I think like 20,000 when this whole thing went down, has gone up 10 times that. It's probably at 250,000 by the time we're recording this.
Exactly.
And that's not only is it going further up, but now spin-offs are showing up on Steam that are doing this. They're doing similar thing, just not necessarily limited to Sweet Baby.
Yeah, there's more of that happening now. What I think if you're going to do anything about this, what I think they should do is somebody needs to just create the ultimate, consulting firm group or whatever that just kind of tracks all of these games that these people work on.
Did I tell you about the time I got kicked out of a game design group because I said I would never hire a sensitivity reader for any of my projects?
No, I didn't hear about that. Dude, it's been a while since we've talked, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be honest with you. We haven't spoken in so long. It has been some time.
Yeah, I've just been after that whole thing that happened last January, my workload has gotten a lot bigger because a lot more people are jumping off the D20 bandwagon and doing their own projects. And
I know
that whole I've covered that whole thing in detail on my channel. I'm not going to retread that here. What I'm going to say is that because of my crusade of showing what's out there, it's meant that there's a lot more projects that I've shown in the last 2 years than I did in the last 3.
Well, I mean, a lot has changed in the last few years. I mean, since I moved here, like I tried to continue to maintain the old Lord Nurgle channel, but I just got really burnt out on all the stuff that was going on because there really wasn't nothing new happening. It was the same thing over and over again. And I mean, in a way, this is the same thing over and over again, but after seeing this happen, I was like, I want to come back and talk about it because this is fucking wild, man. And I kind of miss hanging out with all of you guys. So I'm at least going to be back every other
We already
week.
had a 10-year Gamergate stream ready anyway. Remember?
We didn't have 10-year Gamergate.
The 10th anniversary. Remember?
And so this year's upcoming is the 10th anniversary.
Yeah, this year would be 10 years.
And I guarantee. Let me do one of my predictions because I seem to be good at this kind of thing, or accidentally good at this kind of thing. Right around the 10-year anniversary, you're going to see a bunch of people try and jump off it by writing some sort of memoir shit. It's going to be the usual suspects writing about it. I guarantee.
But that's why we got Tachyon in his actual book.
Yeah, baby.
Why aren't you hitting up Dev and fucking side scrollers and trying to get on
I'm
there
actually talking with Dev about a different topic very, very soon, probably. I'm going to see if I can promote that publicly now.
Because I think it could take off. And Dev
I just got okay from the host. It is confirmed on Tuesday. I'm having a conversation with Dev and Brianna Wu.
Ooh.
And Carl the Pagan. With Wick as moderator. About Sweet Baby Inc.
Mm-hmm. You have to shoot me a link to that. Yeah. Drop a name.
It'll be obvious. Well, most of the people involved are probably going to be streaming. If you want to check it out on my stream and my Gamergate book project, if you want, Tachyon Blue on
If
YouTube.
she joins the server, I promise I'll be nice.
Hold on, I've got one thing I need you to do for me.
But it'll be a Wix the host, technically.
Hold on.
Host.
Tachyon, I got one thing I need you to do for me. When you go on there and you talk to Brianna Wu, you need to ask her why she never did her first to 10 Street Fighter V set with me when I challenged her years ago.
Wait, please repeat that because
Back when Street Fighter V first came out.
Oh no, here we go.
She kept going on about how good she was at Street Fighter V, right? And I issued a challenge of first to 10 with her, and she said, yeah, we'll fucking do it. And she never fucking did it.
Did you reach out to her under the name Lord Nurgle? Just so I know if I bring it up.
It was under Lord Nurgle. And she didn't block me. She unblocked me and responded.
I think I'm still blocked. I don't know. I rarely get on Twitter anymore.
Maybe we can make that happen. I can't promise I'll bring it up. We're going to have a lot of things to cover, I'm sure.
If she plays Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter 6, we can always go to a new game. But I still will take her on a first to 10 on Street Fighter 5.
Dude, I'll watch that if it happens.
Bring it
I
up.
would get back into streaming if she accept that challenge. Still.
Nurgle, bring it up to me. Bring it up to me the day of. If I forget, bring it up to me the day of, and I'll try and bring it up in the after show, if not during the main show.
Yeah, just let me know. Shoot me a message before y'all do the show, so I can just let you know, and also so I can watch because I'd like to see that. That's gonna be interesting.
Well, I think it's great too that we're having a discussion like this. Gamergate's not the main topic, of course. Obviously, people involved have some very strong opinions about that, but we are going to be talking about the Sweet Baby stuff, and I'm sure it'll be a very, very good discussion. I'm glad that we're having it because these are the kinds of conversations that should have happened a decade ago, right?
Well,
during Gamergate, we should have had panels coming together where we can talk about and debate these issues.
I was on some of those,
and we
panels.
tried to, right?
Yeah.
Well, we did have some. We did host a lot of them actually, but like for the most part, the big anti-Gamergate people wouldn't show up, right? You'd get some small people from Reddit and Twitter, which good. I'm glad they did it.
And
but
a lot of the people on that side in those debates, were coming in with no intention of having any sort of discussion. Using a lot of fallacious attitudes, a lot of condescension I saw in some of those ones I was in, and it does take a lot. I've noticed that for a lot of people who have a ideological bent, they really need someone to be a certain thing, and because they're not that certain thing, then they have to start questioning themselves, and they don't want to do that. The whole cognitive dissonance once again. But when it comes to Sweet Baby, I'd like to make a bit of a prediction. I don't think you are going to see them all of a sudden just announce, "Hey, we're shutting down." I think in the
They're
next
gonna rebrand.
I don't even think they're going to try rebranding, but the problem is, as long as now that there's a name associated with it after that infamous GDC video went all over the place, that name is going to be attached and it's going to be toxic.
That's true.
So I think, and because of that, they're going to have a harder and harder time getting clients because nobody wants a media circus. Especially these days when so many people are cutting back, all you need to do is give an excuse to cut them out, even if they don't do it publicly.
Well, let me ask you guys this, because I'm coming into this conversation with Brianna Wu and Short Fat Taku Wick and Carl the Pagan. Do you guys think that there could be any value in the consulting services? Again, take out let's just not talk about the extreme woke stuff. But
Well,
if you are, hang on, let me lay it out. If you're a consulting firm and you're like, look, or you have a person or a team of people, and you're like, look, we know a lot we know a lot about X topic. We know a lot about like writing female characters because we do this all the time. And like, let's say that in theory this group is competent and like tries to do a good job, and they offer these services to game dev studios and say, hey, look, we can help you write better characters. And a lot of them probably do a really shitty job and are like grifters. But let's say some of them are competent and actually do offer good advice and good value. How do we know? Like, is there a problem with that? Like, do you think there's something wrong inherently with what they're doing?
I am all for representation in games. Just don't be fucking preachy about it.
Stop punching me in the face, screaming message, and I'll be fine.
Here's been my attitude about it, because the reason why I said I would never hire a sensitivity reader was far more pragmatic than a lot of people would think. A lot of people think, oh, you don't want to do it just because of my tribe or my politics or some shit like that. No, that wasn't the reason I gave when I went into why. The reason that I gave at the time was for one, I have no reason to believe that expenditure is going to would result in a higher return, with or without. I have not seen any proof beyond a reasonable doubt that the presence of that can generate more sales. If anything, I see the opposite. And yeah, we can chalk that up to bad grifters and all that. But even beyond that, I haven't seen a case where a given work came out that was more successful because they hired a consultant. Now, that being said, there is a certain type of consultant that I do think has merit, but it isn't the writing a particular gender type of consultant, but rather the equivalent of hiring, say, a historian or an expert on a particular culture or a particular region. Like if I was writing a game that was going to be set in the Civil War, I'd hire a bunch of reenactors from various places across the U.S. To get a feel for how weapons are supposed to work, how the day-to-day life of soldiers was like, that kind of thing. I think that's I know that somebody tried to conflate things and try and claim that Ghost of Tsushima had cultural consultants or consultants in the same vein. They had consultants in regards to the nature of Tsushima Island.
Yeah,
that's as far as that went. That is a whole different matter. That's no different than hiring a historian. That's the kind of consultancy that I think has merit. But in terms of hire us, we know how to write female characters. well, you may know how to write female characters, but that's a very, 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 very wide net. Because the female characters that you know how to write, supposedly, may not be applicable to the kind of story that I'm trying to tell. That money would be better spent trying to get consultants that are specific to the kind of story that I want to tell. Which is why I think that money would be better spent on some sort of historian or some sort of expert on a particular culture or subculture than just, oh, we know how to write women because we are women.
Well, they do say, right, like in the Kotaku article, I believe it was, they do say that they try to take like a holistic approach, right? That they aren't just
them.
like they might be dishonest, I don't know, but they do try to take a approach to look at not just here we can write women well. Like that was kind of a dumbed down version I put out there, I admit, but they do talk about how they want to take writing in general and writing and storytelling in general and try to like improve that, not through working with the developers.
The writing medium is way too
collaboratively build a better game, right? That's in theory what they're doing.
If a lot of that I feel is empty buzzwords, because first off, if they're saying they're taking a holistic approach, then they don't understand what holism is. Holism is examining things as a whole. That means examining every single angle. You cannot do that when you have an ideological bias. Those two things don't go together.
Well, but look at what I'm not sure if you've seen much of the work I've done, but I've tried to take like a holistic approach to investigating the Gamergate controversy. And I guess I have like my biases, of course.
You have your biases, but you have to set them aside for the overall goal. And
sure, yes.
I don't have enough reason to believe, based on their actions, that they are practicing holism.
That I would agree with, because so far they've tried to harass people who point out what they're doing, which is not good. They shouldn't be doing this.
And as far as the whole collaborative thing, last I checked, when I don't think collaboration comes from threat of force, and this is where that GDC speech is going to bite them in the ass.
Yeah, they definitely have to answer for that and have at the very least have a conversation with the public about this and apologize probably. And if this is happening, it should be looked into further. And if games journalists aren't going to look into it, then independent media people can look into it. But obviously, everybody should just try to be ethical and try to be honest in how they talk about these things. If you do look into the situations.
These guys kind of shot themselves in the foot, though. It's like, I don't know of anyone who had heard of this group until they basically kicked the hornet's nest and made everyone aware of it.
I was vaguely aware of it because people were talking about it on the Chans back in last year. But
okay, it's
and
not
Reddit too, but I didn't see it on Reddit.
Well, the thing is, it's not even just a Sweet Baby Ink thing. Like that, yeah, people were starting to kind of figure out what they were, but like this curator group, nobody would have known about it if they had shut.
Oh yeah, no,
exactly.
And now it blew up in their face. It's just like that Aaron Joni, Zoe Quinn shit was. If the media didn't try to run their smear campaign, nobody would have known any of this shit was going on.
And you know what's the irony?
Cared, but they went straight for it.
You know what's the irony? These are the people that want to call gamers neurotic man babies or whatever the emotionally charged buzzword of the week is. And you look at their behavior, whether it be trying to shut down competing events, or reeing in the public over the slightest critique, and you have to ask yourself, who's the immature one? But I had when I saw how things were escalating with Sweet Baby and a few others, I had this feeling in the back of my mind that somebody was going to slip up. And to reference my favorite Napoleon quote, never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake.
Yep.
I just had to sit and wait because I knew at some point they were going to fuck up. And it was going to be a fuck up at the level that a lot of people were going to notice. And I honestly think the canary in the coal mine was Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Especially given how much of a PR and sales disaster that was.
Yeah, such a big disaster. The WB decided we didn't learn a fucking lesson from it.
Yeah, I likened it to opening the fridge, getting a glass of milk, and saying, "Oh, this milk is sour." Then putting the milk back in the fridge and saying, "Maybe tomorrow will be fresh."
Yeah, pretty much. But anyway, guys, look, it's getting late now. I ain't as young as I used to be here. I want to keep these streams at a manageable level now. I don't want us to go in 3, 4, 5 hour streams like we used to back in the day, because let's face it, we all got shit to do most nowadays. I got some shit I got to do tonight too when I get off of here. But you know what? We'll be back hopefully next week. I'm gonna try to work out a schedule, because I got to figure it out probably on Saturday, maybe. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm involved in a Rogue Trader RP session or RP campaign right now that we do every other week. So it could happen every other week, or every other week I could go Friday, then Thursday, then Friday, then Thursday. It's just if I do it on Thursdays, we won't be able to stream super late because I have to get up and go to work the first thing in the morning really early. I'm on a 5-day work schedule. I no longer have telework anymore. So, and I'm practically working a 9-to-5er now. But much better pay, much better job, much more engaging. I like it a lot more. I love where I'm at now.
Well, that's good.
But yeah, it's good when you get a job that feels fulfilling for once. But I want to thank all you fuckers for coming back out here, because it's been a while. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be using Nurgle's Dungeon for this now. It's going to be streams and the podcasts. If I decide to start playing video games again, I will. But it'll be on this channel. It's just, I don't know how often, because I sit here and I think, when I'm sitting here doing my gaming sessions and I'm playing Mortal Kombat 1 for a night or playing Diablo 4, I'm like, I really should just turn on the stream and just stream this, because people would enjoy, my old fans would still enjoy watching me play these games, even if I'm playing badly. Although I'm not bad with Rain. I don't know if anybody's been watching any of my recent
I have.
videos.
You're pretty good with Rain.
I'm a pretty good Rain player now. I make them wet now.
Oh my god.
I am learning to play Melina, but I don't know. It just, something wasn't clicking with me with Melina in this game, and I like her. I like her a lot in this game. It's just not clicking like it used to. It just don't feel the same. Natara was fun, but I just couldn't figure her out. But that might change over time. I can't play Peacemaker to save my life, or Omni-Man. But I am thinking of playing streams again. I mean, I probably won't run one tonight. If maybe tomorrow. It's just, I still have to find time to work on Innocence and Lord Nurgle now.
You also need to still teach me how to set up freaking tabletop game.
Yeah, I need to do that too. But I'm gonna try. I'll take some time this following week to figure out how to utilize this StreamYards thing some more, because I do like this better, because I have better control over the stream. But I just gotta experiment with it, because I know everybody uses this fucking program, but I've never used it till today.
I've heard some. I've had to listen to a friend rant at me about it for a good half hour at a time.
Well, I'm gonna figure it out later. I'll
All
look at it. I'm sure I'll figure it out. It's
Well, hey,
doesn't seem too
thanks
hard.
for having me on, Nurgle. I'm glad to see you're back. And
yeah, I'm not totally jetting here. I was gonna let you guys throw in anything you want to say before we fucking leave.
oh
here.
well,
Good God.
yeah. Oh wait a minute, sorry, I'm rushing to get out. You got such a
Yeah,
boring
I know.
show.
You're trying
What
to
the
get
hell?
the hell out of here and tell me to fuck off and shit. You know what, Tachyon, I understand that I'm not the greatest guy around. I mean, and I appreciate you showing up.
Oh,
But I mean,
shush.
come on now. You ain't gotta just jet off like that, asshole.
Oh, you are right. We are assholes.
True.
Well, and just like
No,
assholes,
we're
We're in the
misogynistic
League of
harassers.
Extraordinary Assholes. Come on.
well, and just like assholes, we all have opinions. And just like assholes, some opinions stink more than others.
Look, Nurgle, it's a free country, and you are free to be wrong.
Oh yeah. So has anybody got anything they want to say before we go? I'll still on the road. Leon, what you got, man?
History is repeating itself again, and all I'm going to do is just sit back and watch the world burn.
That sounds like fun. Tachyon!
I wouldn't jump to any conclusions too much. I think everyone should research this. I think people should talk about it. I think people need to have discussions on both sides with each other. And I think that the Games Press, who's not done a very good job so far covering this, especially The Guardian, which they've done an awful job so far, their games writer. Especially since they've actually smeared the Gamergate people too and tried to make it an attack instead of just covering the facts, even poorly. It's quite bad. I hope that lessons can be learned from Gamergate and from what happened, and everyone can hopefully build a better gaming industry that is, I'll say it, inclusive towards a wide variety of perspectives and viewpoints, and that means a lot of hearing out people with real diversity. That means diversity of perspective, of thought, bringing in people who have been pushed outside of the Overton window and expanding it to include a variety of perspectives. But also, too, that means tolerating people who have woke ideas who we might not like, and as long as they make their games and if they have their artistic vision that they want to pursue, and sometimes in AAA, sometimes in indie, that's fine. Let the market decide what is successful and what is not. And I think that that's what basically everyone here, I think, agrees that nobody, the Steam group people shouldn't be harassed, of course. And the woke journalists, they say that they're being harassed too, or some of the journalists are saying that they're being harassed too. If that's true, that's bad. That shouldn't happen. I condemn that, of course. But we need to have conversations. We need to not shut them down. And I hope they do that on Tuesday. And I hope that more people, if you want to have them here too, Nurgle, or Mildra on your channel, or Lisa, do you still...
always like having... Look,
Huh?
I'm an equal opportunist when it comes to assholish behavior. I welcome all assholes on this stream.
That is true.
And I call everybody assholes, not just people I don't like.
Yeah, all of us here have participated in these discussions dozens of times, probably hundreds, probably thousands, maybe. It's
I mean, y'all know my past with Gamergate. You know, I always have, regardless of who it is. I was always cool with anybody coming on the stream as long as they were going to be respectful to me. I would be respectful to them, and just have a conversation, because I don't believe in debate. I know you like debates. I don't like to debate. I just like to sit, chit chat, and get to know a person and figure out, well, what's your perspective on things, and learn from each other's perspectives so that we each learn from each other rather than just try to be us versus them or me versus you, you know? It's like, I would gladly love, I mean, even though I've kind of said some asshole-ish things, like made some edgy jokes on Twitter towards that woman, what's her name?
Alyssa.
Alyssa.
What's her
something.
last name? Sorry, let's pull it up.
Alyssa Mercante, I think that's what it is. Mercante or Mercante. I don't know how to pronounce it properly.
Neither.
But like, I would absolutely love to have her on here just to bullshit with her, just me and her, just chill and talk. Because I think she would be an interesting person to talk to, and she would be interesting to have a different perspective on things, because that's my favorite thing about conversation, and is not debate, but conversation of, well, learning each other's perspectives and learning how to find the middle ground of talking to each other's perspectives rather than trying to smash each other's perspectives down, working with each other. That's what I think is the difference here is. And that's some of the things I think that happened in my past streams when I had my different interviews or the different streams where I did get people that were very opposing ideologies talking on here was that rather than trying to smash down their thoughts and opinions, it was more of let me figure out and understand your thoughts and your opinions better and get your better perspectives on what you're trying to say, because perhaps what people are hearing from you is not what you're truly trying to say. That's my goal when I talk to people. And I would love to have Alyssa on here. I would love to have anybody on here that would like to just have that kind of conversation and just chat. I would even welcome Brianna Wu on here. I know, scary.
Well, if she joins my Discord, you can DM her.
That would be awesome.
It'll be on Wix. It'll be on
Ask her if she would mind unblocking me.
Oh, she still has me blocked on Twitter. We talk on Discord though.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
Here's the thing.
But Wix handling all the logistics for this pretty much.
Oh, and I'd love to have Dev on here sometime.
Well, he's handling all the logistics with getting Brianna Wu. I've helped with other stuff, but.
Well, I've been watching Dev's channel for a very, very long time, and I'd love to have a conversation with Dev and just sit here and bullshit and talk to him about stuff, because that would be absolutely fun to have him on someday. So you might have to get me up some connections here, because I've lost most of my connections over the years, because I haven't really been doing this for a while. But yeah, I would love to. That's just something I miss. I miss having all those different guests on here that we used to just have and talk to and just chit chat with them, even if they had opposing views and opposing thoughts and opinions on things. It was fun to have them on here and talk about it. And that's what I aim to do coming back to this is, can we start getting some guests on here? Can I start having some one-on-one conversations with people that I never get to talk to these days that would create a different, rather than creating an echo chamber, create a conversation that would be fun to listen to and understand with each other and find those common grounds and those interesting things. But yeah, I'm sure you guys get what I'm saying. But anyway, Mildred, you got anything to say before we get out of here?
I'd certainly be open to joining in on the fun when I can, because obviously my own crusade takes precedent. But just to do a cheap plug, since some of you are mentioning doing TTRPG stuff, over the last few months, I've revived my old actual play podcast, now titled Cloister of the Dice, and I'm going to be continuing that tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah.
Just instead of doing something like Rogue Trader or the like, I'm doing a fan translation of Sword World, because that was always one of my white whales. If I ever got the chance to tackle that in English, then about a year ago I found that some people did translate it. And of course, over on my channel, I'm still doing all of the numerous stuff with TTRPGs and with the Geek Watch podcast that I do on Sundays. Because you've no doubt seen it. I'm a very busy monk.
Mildred, you've always been busy since I've known you. It's okay. All right. Lisa,
it's my natural style.
Got anything you want to say?
I'm just happy to be in a call with you guys again.
I know you missed us. Well, me and you always bullshit on there. I know that because I finally have access to using Discord while I'm working now. So when I get the downtime, I'm able to hop on there and just say a couple words to everybody. So that's been nice.
Yeah, without going into detail, mental health hasn't been all that great lately. So this is definitely nice.
But I know you said you've lost a lot of weight, like
50 pounds now.
Oh
nice.
God. Everybody, give her a fucking round of applause on that.
Actually, Nurgle, check DMs. I sent a more recent pic of me.
Ooh, more recent pic of Lisa. Let me see what we got here. Wow, you have lost a lot of weight. Holy shit, Lisa. Yeah, you look very different. You used to have
And I've
Much-
actually lost a few
you
pounds
lost
since that photo.
You've actually lost more in your face than what
Yeah.
you used to. I've noticed that. I'm glad you're doing it, and you're doing it the right way.
Yep. Actually, I'll,
Instead of doing
after
meth.
after you end the stream, I'll leave here and then hop on my phone for a minute.
That's fine. You know what I think we're gonna do? For those of y'all, if we all just want to still chit chat, I'll hop up on the Discord VC and we'll go from there. Because I'll have to close this out eventually.
Yeah, that works.
Because I don't want to be tied to my computer for the next few moments. I'm probably gonna be hopping off here because I got to go take care of a few things around the house. Come to think of it.
I just wanted to say hi on camera real quick.
Oh, okay.
Well, good to see you all. And Mildra, actually, we hadn't talked in
Jesus
at least
Christ, wait, that sounded
several
wrong.
years. So good to see you again. Everyone else I've connected with and interviewed for my book, but glad to see you again.
Yep. So with that all said and done, I'm gonna mute all of you so that we can say goodnight. That way I can talk to the audience and say goodnight. And
Yep.
I'll have more announcements to follow later and to come up the things. So I will